Welcome back to the Hot Mess to Awesomeness podcast, a show all about inspiring smart, busy women to put their happiness at the top of their to-do list. Join your host and life coach, Dion Thompson, as she chats with amazing women who have figured out how to make their happiness a priority, and more importantly, what it's really like to go from hot mess to awesomeness. And now, on with the show.
Welcome everyone to the Hot Mess from Hot Mess to Awesomeness podcast. This is the break that every busy woman deserves, and I am super excited to have Kelly Benoit joining me today as my guest. When I first started this at the middle of March, I reached out to a lot of amazing women, and Kelly was one of the ones who jumped right on. Scheduling wise, here we are today, and recording this in April. So it's going to be awesome. It's sunny outside. And so for our dance party that we had right before this, Kelly's song choices brought us all the way back to the warm days of summer. And it was chill and beachy and warm, and there were margaritas, and it was lovely. So I'm just going to carry that energy through the rest of our conversation, and I'm looking forward to this. Kelly.
Hi.
This is this your, how many podcasts have you done? Or is this the first one?
This is the first podcast I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
And how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm actually not nervous. So this is
Yay. Good. I have been thinking about you a lot lately, and I was thinking back to when we met and what that was like. So in our small community, people like yourself who are doing great things, the name is heard, the Happy Pineapple Boutique. It's a very unique and special and fabulous name, and I'd heard about it. And then I had put out requests for vendors for my event last year. And you emailed me, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited because I've been wanting to meet this woman, and she's doing such great things, and really a woman after my sort of, in connection with my values of community and connection and growth and honor and support and love and all of those things. And I was very excited to become part of your community. And every week, whether I can hop on live on the Sundays or I watch it on Monday mornings at like 6 a.m., I absolutely love just being with you and being with your community that is like 5,000 plus amazing women who they are attracted beyond what you're selling and connecting directly to the essence of the pineapple, which is you, which is what I really wanted to talk to you about today, about what prompted you to step into this space and to, from what I know about what's happened in the past year or so, about reclaiming that space. And I'm really excited to hear about that. So tell me a little bit about your journey and what inspired you to get into the online clothing world and create this phenomenal thing that is the Happy Pineapple.
Well, it's like, I took a little bit from this aspect of my life and this aspect of my life, and it just kind of like grew and the pineapple was born into this thing. And actually, like, what it is today is not what I even set out for it to be, which is what I love about it. But I grew up, so background, my father played in the NHL, and we moved around a lot. So automatically it's moving around, trying to adapt, trying to fit in, right? Everywhere that I go. I'm very flighty, and like, you can even ask my parents, like, even with sports, like, I'd be like, I want to do horseback riding, and be so stubborn and demand to like do horseback riding, and then I try it and quit. Like, it was very flighty, couldn't land on anything. So then even with I'm just trying to think of even like being an employee. I was a horrible employee. I hated the feeling of always not being myself in things, or not having full control, which is probably not a good thing, or maybe not control, but freedom. Like I could never just be free to be me. And then I met Andre. My life path I thought was going to go into the sports realm, and like I kind of met him and everything kind of got all jumbled up. So then meeting him and then traveling around the world, you know, you gain all these really, really essential life skills. And actually it's quite funny because some of them that him and I have been through are working out so well in this self-isolation, because, you know, we basically got married and moved to Finland. So we had to learn how to be a couple on our own, without friends, without family. And then once we had our girls, we had to learn how to be a family unit without family and friends on our own. So we're doing okay during the self-isolation. But anyway, just moving around, like it brought me those life skills. And then being a hockey wife was really, and specifically in the NHL, AHL, because even though I didn't feel like I fit in to what I thought you had to be or look like, there was a sense of belonging, right? I think there's a huge difference. I think fitting in is where you try to change yourself to fit, to be someone you're not, to kind of fit some sort of mold. And then belonging to something is like people accepting you for yourself, your authentic self. And there was that in the hockey wife world. So then when Andre retired, I started to panic because I needed to work. And our summer home was in Tiny. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Because like, I'm not in the medical profession. I'm not a teacher. There's not a lot of options up here, as opposed to like a bigger city. And it was my hockey wife group that some girls had started something sort of similar in the States, where they would just post clothes on. It was just basically all online. They just post clothes. So it was random. I was just driving with my husband one day, and I'm like, I told him the idea. I told him I wanted to make it a game because I'm so competitive. I need to have a competition. I'm an athlete at heart, I guess. And he kind of like, he's very analytical. So he was kind of like running numbers and grilling me on everything. And I surprisingly had everything like nailed down. And then the pineapple grew. And the very first day, I posted something, and I chose 12 p.m. to be my first time to post, and nothing sold. And we were at a golf tournament, and I was crying. I'm like, that's it. I quit. Like, it's not working. And it was my sister, my one sister was so sweet. She bought something, and then she's like, everybody works at 12 cal. Like, who is going to be on anyway? So that is initially like where it all came from. But very much the hockey wife group, I was going to miss that so much. And I knew I wanted to create a community where people didn't feel judged, where they could be themselves. They had this feeling of belonging. Belonging with being like their true self, but then at the same time connected to other like-minded women.
Amazing.
Oh,
You good? Oh, did I lose her? I'm positive that she'll return. And there. Hello. Okay.
I don't know where I stopped talking.
And you know what? You finished, and I got all the way to the like I heard all.
Oh, okay. Good, because I was like, I can't remember.
When did I freeze? I don't know, because I try to keep myself moving. So
Yeah.
that you know that I'm always listening.
Yeah, and
I get really
when I talk, I'm always looking off, so I'm never. Anyway, sorry about that.
No, it's all good. So, did you want? I have thoughts, and I have some deep questions.
Throw me your
I am a huge believer in the idea of shifting out of the fitting in mindset and moving into the belonging mindset. And of course, that is an internal shift that nobody can hand that to you. Nobody can say, you belong here. You have to feel it, right? And I love that you've highlighted the skills that you've gained, even though I can only imagine that the traveling
Mhm.
and the, you know, the up and the down and the up and the down and having to do all of that. I'm sure there's many challenges inside of that.
Yeah.
And the one thing that you had pulled out was that you were, the becoming stronger and more aware and very solid in your family unit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to extrapolate it there, and also, so there's the couple unit, and then there's this sense of individuality, because I can imagine there's quite a bit of alone time
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And what I think is amazing is that your community of other women, the hockey wives, excuse me, that are also experiencing that transplant nature.
Yeah.
It's through that sort of solidarity and recognizing that, I've spent all this time alone and I've been doing a lot of work on myself, whether it was intentional or not. So
Yeah.
it almost makes perfect sense to me that community is filled with women who are like, yeah, this is me, because I can't be anybody. This is my home. This
Mhm.
is, I'm building myself in this space, not, it's not negative or positive, but when you are planted somewhere and engaging with community regularly, long periods of time, years, there's a lot of back and forth influence that can occur. And for many of us who are constantly out and engaging and really in other people's spaces all the time, you can get lost in that.
Mhm.
And as an introvert, it's really important for people like myself to be able to have that alone space, and we have to seek it out, whereas you had sort of that gift of having it imposed on you in
Yes.
that yes,
Yeah.
there's a gift in there. And
There
I've been, for me, that journey of fitting into belonging, it was almost like a switch. And I know that, so Brene Brown, who's like my superhero and I want to wear as a hat, she talks about it a lot. And it was in reading some of her work and really exploring myself that I came to this awareness that I have been me. I was just afraid that people didn't get it.
Yeah.
And what became really clear is that there have been people out there who've always got me. I
Yeah.
just maybe didn't trust them
Yeah.
because I didn't get me.
Yes.
So, I was just going to say, have you had that experience where there's this been like, well, nobody really sees me. And then someone says something and you go, how did they see me? I thought I had the walls up. I thought I had
Right.
the blinders up, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that, about you finding that moment of awareness that you, in your true beautiful form, has always been okay. You just hadn't recognized it yet.
Yeah. I can't pinpoint when it happened. I think it was like kind of like a journey, and like all my experiences led to it. Um, I do feel like being a wife of a professional hockey player, you need to, I feel like we're looked at a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And then what people don't see is the home life. And then we don't feel like we have a voice because they're the superstar. Their name gets said in front of 17,000 people. But you know what? I run the freaking ship, okay? Like, it's all me. He gets traded and literally has to leave one day, and I have to pack up the house and leave, but nobody sees that aspect. So I think a lot of those skills that I had to kind of endure sporadically on my own, kind of made me be like, man, I'm kind of badass. I can do this. I can totally be, not that I want to be by myself, but I can totally do this, right? I can pack up a whole house by myself and drive a U-Haul across the country. Like, I'm good. Yeah. And the other part, so I am a giant child. Anyone can tell you I don't like the word weird, but I'm definitely like loopy and weird and lose my thoughts all the time. And I'm just like on cloud nine sometimes. And exactly what you said, like, it's almost like you're afraid of people seeing that side of you because it's not normal. You're not normal. You are, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. Just growing up, like you just feel like you have to do this and you can't do this, right?
And I think I mean, I can't speak from the perspective of a man, but I do recognize that for many women, that those lines were
Yeah.
painted really thick. And for those of us who have character and uniqueness and loopy weirdness and who like to do things in their own way, whether it was overt or not, it was when you're in the lines, you are seen. And when you're out of the lines, you kind of get missed.
That's what you
And,
think, right?
and you know, as an innate feature of being human, we want to be seen and heard and appreciated for who we are. And I think it's a testament to the community that was built around with you, with the Hockey Wives, because it sounds like that was definitely a place where you could turn to, and it would be, you know, nobody worried about the lines. It was just, you get to be you, and this, and we all get it. Not only that, we see you. Like, I would imagine that's a whole community of women going, honey, I know what it's like to do what you just did. And here's all the things, all the kudos and all the love and all the attention that we each deserve to feel acknowledged for the greatness. Now, it's a sort of a twofold thing, because we want to be able to do that internally, and you did. I'm a badass. Look at me. I could totally do this. And then when you hear it from somebody else, you go, oh, that's kind of cool. And it's not that it's needed, it's just appreciated, which is why you, on every single call I've ever been on, you are the just purveyor of grace, and like, these people are awesome, this woman is amazing, this is great, and like you are quick to offer up your love and appreciation, and it's 100% genuine.
Yes.
Right. And I think that for me is why your community is what it is, because people, you've created this space where you can be seen, you can be weird as you want, and we show up for it, not in spite of it. It's because of that.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about how the pineapple then fused. And sorry, I'm just going to pause, and I wanted to go back to this one. I made a note because I thought it was fascinating. So when you first put the pineapple together, and you were telling Andre about it, and previous to this conversation, I'm pretty sure the first word I wrote down here was that you're flighty, like you quit things because it's sort of not, maybe it didn't feel like it was you, but this, you're like, I showed up with the numbers. You knew, right? And I would imagine that that's something that just happened, and you didn't give, like, it just, you're like, no, this is this, and this is this, and I've thought about this, and okay, so this is something that's real. And then, yes, we have those moments where, oh my God, I have to quit because nobody bought anything. And just one little nudge from someone who believes in you to be like, honey, you got to be online when everybody's online. Right. And then, so what I see in that, and what I've experienced, and what I know to be true, is that when you are following that thing that is in full alignment with you, it doesn't feel like work. It just, like, it just happens, right? And then, shocker, the people who value your level of loopy weirdness are like, yeah, that is the thing. We need to do more of this because it's awesome and you're awesome, and it just sort of flows from there. So I just wanted to say that, you could say you're flighty, but it sounds to me like you were just really being really, really true to you. So if you don't feel like you belong, and you called it control, but I really, and freedom in the same place. Yeah. It is definitely both of those things. Yeah. You feel the most free because you know you. Yeah. And so quitting horseback riding, well, of course you quit, right? Like, it's like, that's not my thing. Yeah. So so we want people to be able to stick through things, and we look at our kids and go, just stick it out and give it a shot. But really, if you know, you know. And I imagine one of your kids is just like that. So yeah. Yeah, they are. So tell me a little bit more about how the pineapple went from a car ride conversation to this, like, Uber girls' night game, which I kind of made that up, but I mean, that's how I look at it. Like, it's this place where you can go and have fun and connect and just sort of be yourself. How did it get there?
So I don't know. It's funny because like, and you've hit on this, it's like two separate things fused, right? It's the community and all the fun and the connectiveness of the community, and then it's a store. And I feel like either one on its own is not they need each other. The reason why I went with clothes was because, and probably the only fact is traveling and being not alone, because obviously you meet people. I loved getting packages from Amazon, like in the States, like you order something, it's there in 3 hours, you're like, a present. And I feel like, and what I really wanted to do is, sometimes I remember doing it and feeling so guilty that I ordered something for myself when I have 2 little girls and I have a husband, like, and this was a big one for me too. And not that it's not my money, but that goes in my head, right? And like, who am I to order this thing? So I'm like, I really wanted to create something where the clothes price point was perfect, so you don't feel like that. You get really, really, really unique, comfy clothes, because I don't know, maybe that's just selfish. That's just kind of how like I roll. Like I did have pajama pants on. I did put pants on, but you know, just really comfy clothes that when you run out to the store, you know, you feel put together, but you still feel like secure and like a blanket, right? But it was mainly that getting a present, doing something for yourself and not having the guilt about it, and having something, and this was huge, having something in your day, even if it's like 5 minutes, even if it's in the 45 seconds that something might sell out lately, that was all for you. Regardless if you got the item, didn't get the item, that little bit of excitement and in that activity was for you. It had nothing to do with your kids. It had nothing to do with your husbands. It was all for you. Because I feel like, you know, I was a stay-at-home mom for 13 years, and I, you know, so catering to them, catering to the husband, catering to all the extended family that can't talk to the husband because, you know, he's napping for game time. So you're just the center cog, and there's nothing there. Like, where's my thing? Like, where's my, yeah. So that's what I really, really, really wanted. And I mean, it's just clothes. It's just clothes. I'm sure you can get clothes anywhere, but I really want it to be different and special and unique. And above and beyond that, like just somewhere where I felt like I belonged to. And this is very important to me, and I want to stress this. I don't feel like I run it. I feel like I belong with it, with everybody. Like I on Sundays, I love when people are like, obviously everyone likes a compliment, but like, I just feel a part of them. I don't feel above anybody. And that's when you said like having the freedom to run my own thing. Yes, it's me running everything, but it's still like, it's funny, I was talking to my mom about being in isolation. I'm like, I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have the pineapple, because I just feel still connected. And even though it's online, I think it's something that I've always craved because I was always so far away. And that's what I had to create with my, you know, my mom, my dad, my sisters, is feeling connected online, right? So, yeah.
So you were doing it and mastering it long before we all were sort of thrown into it. And you know what, I would have to say that I would imagine that the 5,000 plus women who've been engaging with you over this time, you know, it gives us a leg up into what we had to step into. So, you know, so there's many people who've never shopped online ever,
No.
never experienced that.
Uh-huh.
And so it was this great opportunity of, but I've done this before. And not only that, I'm going to come back to this place because I feel good there. I love that a sort of an anchor point or sort of guidepost for your business is that it's not about guilt. It really is about putting yourself first, even if it's only for 45 seconds, because that 45 seconds could fuel you for the next 45 minutes.
100%.
And those of us, I call sort of the multi hat wearing mamas who are doing all of the pieces, we don't even make it to the list, let alone, just be at the bottom.
Right.
And you've created this space where I am the list. Like
Yeah.
there is nothing else on this for those 2 hours that I'm on or whatever it is. And then I get to re-engage with that feeling that I matter, that I'm a valuable person, and I deserve to have not just nice things, but that I deserve to have time and a space that is just for me. And I think you're absolutely right. And you can shop anywhere. Anybody can shop anywhere, but people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it, right? The quote from Simon Sinek. And so you've created, I don't want anybody to think that I said that, but anyway, you created this, this community that goes beyond online shopping, and an online shopping that goes beyond community. Like it's just this beautiful interplay. Yes. And I love that you probably have, if I asked you to like give me the rundown of exactly how it happened, you're gonna go, I don't know, because it just happened out of your heart.
Yeah.
And I know I listened through those calls, and you test things out and try things up, and I love that somebody throw out a suggestion. You're like, I'm doing that right now, right?
Yeah.
Because if it feels right and if it feels connected to your community, you're on it, and that's what we love. FYI, we're big fans of that.
Yeah, and it definitely isn't a straight line either, and you know this probably more than most, but I've made so many mistakes and so many up and downs, and like almost like folding it, but I'm a very big believer in like every single thing that has happened in my life, good, bad, ugly, whatever, like has shaped and brought me to this moment. So I cannot look at a mistake and been like, that was so stupid, because there was a purpose for it.
Right.
For me.
Right. And I vividly remember those moments of not noticing things as being failures, just as something I did while doing it. Right. So I started my business, and I could look back and go, oh, well, I messed that up and I didn't do that right. And I had no idea what I was doing there. But in the moment, it was just like, just go, because this is what we're doing, and learn and learn and learn and go, that's awesome. Oh, I don't want to do that again. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So I'm interested in so many things, but I'm interested in that. I would say maybe the few months before I saw you at the event.
Okay.
Because I know something happened at the event, and we'll talk about that.
Yes. That was amazing.
But I think the reason why that thing happened at the event was whatever led up to it. So what happened in your business and for you? What was happening that changed you?
Yeah, I think, so I started June 2018 and was running like full force. And it was, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but it was, the post would come out at night, and I know some people aren't going to understand what I'm talking about, but then it'd be like 2-3 hours of sitting there sending invoices. And I'm like, there was a part of me that's like, you're a horrible mother. What are you doing? Like, you are taking so much time away from your kids. Like, you used to be there. Like, how are they going to comprehend, like thinking you're selfish doing this thing? So I'm like, I wonder if there's a way I could switch it all up and not send invoices. And that was just putting things up on a website. So then I put things up on a website, and it did okay for a bit. And then it didn't. And then I kind of lost, I lost my spark. I lost my fire. Fired. And I kind of got in a funk about it. And then, things weren't selling very well. Your event was coming up, and I'm like, oh God, like, I guess we'll just see how the spring goes and go from there. But like, what I didn't realize is that I turned it from this really cool, amazing, fun thing and turned it into the Gap. Like, or you know what I mean? Like, why would anyone online shop my store as opposed to any of the thousands and thousands of stores online? Like, it lost its uniqueness. And like I said, I lost my fire. And then I remember going to your event and kind of like explaining it to people. I'm like, I just sound ridiculous saying, yeah, well, you just go on the website at this time. And like, anyway, and I who was it, Kim? I think it was Kimberly. it was Kimberly, and she was talking, and like, if you know me, you know, like in my head, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I cannot meditate. This is silly. And like, I think I just got lost in my thoughts. And then all of a sudden, almost like her voice just started not, I'm sure I was listening, but I was just floating, I felt like. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, you idiot. Like, where's the game? Where's the fun? And then for the rest of that day, I think I was just like, like crazy, so excited. Got in the car, called my husband, and was just like, yeah, I need to change everything again. He's like, oh my gosh. And I think I said, like, you asked a question, what did you get? Or what was the feeling, or what did you get out of this day? And I raised my hand, I said, I'm found. Like, I could not even believe. And it's exactly what you said. I made a decision, didn't really think about it. And then once I had time to stop and not think about the pineapple, like, so like analytically, like sales, whatever, it was like, oh my God, I'm missing that. And I found that when I do take weeks off here and there, it allows me to be creative, to reflect. And it's really a good thing. And even though it's a week of like not selling, it's just so good for me. And like, okay, where do I want to go next? Okay, let's implement that. Because if I try and do it during normal time, I don't have time to do
You're
all
too
of
busy
that.
doing the doing.
Yeah. So that day, those, you know, by you forcing me to meditate.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. It allowed me to figure out what I was missing, because I don't know how much longer I would have gone like that.
Right.
And, you know, feedback from the pineapple babes is that, yeah, that's the best part about it. And I had so many people, like my husband, my mom, my dad, what are you doing? They let me make my mistake, right? They kind of like said their piece. They let me make my mistake. But then when I'm like, no, I need to bring the game back, they're all like, we told you that. But I'm very stubborn and flighty, and I need to have it has to be my idea.
Right. I am you, and I'm married to you in that sense. And so I completely understand. And I think it's better that way, because if, let's say Andre said, this is what you need to do, and you're like, okay, I'll do that. But if you didn't feel that, and your brain was still on the, am I making enough money? Am I doing this right? Am I with the kid? Like, if you were still being driven by shame and guilt, then you wouldn't actually be able to create what you've created now. I love that you acknowledge and you recognize that the time, you know, whether it's a week away or it could be a day, it could be an hour, to reflect and allow the creative self to percolate, because we are brilliant beings. You are a brilliant being, and every solution to every problem you have is in you. You have to be able to have space to let it out. And when we're doing the doing inside the problem, which for you in the pre-event days of the business, you're doing the work of being in that problem, we can get really tunnel visioned.
Yes.
Be able to see
exactly.
And you know, I consider it my mission in life to help women shift perspective. I don't solve people's problems, although there was a time in my life where I really thought that was my job. Turns out it's not. But I feel like now it's my job to advocate for perspective shifting, so that you go, oh, now that I see it this way, or I have like a little bit more clarity, or I've just opened the door to a new potential solution that previously I would have thought was not even on the table, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I love that you found that and found yourself inside of that. And are you still using that strategy regularly, or when you need to evolve? Because I know the pineapple's always evolving.
It's always evolving.
Yeah.
One of the best, scariest, hardest things I did was hire someone to do the like packing of things and computer stuff. But like, it was so hard for me to give up control. Let me tell you how much I am missing that girl right now, because it is a lot of work, but it freed up 3 hours a day, you know, so I could get my work done and then have the freedom to I just feel calm, like very very chill, very chill. And when I'm relaxed, things run more smoothly. When I panic, like it just is like I make the dumbest like decisions and mistakes and whatnot. But when I'm calm and I can see things a little bit clearly because I'm not like all fogged up, yeah, it's a lot better. So like giving away a little bit of control was really, really good for me. This time has been really good for me too. I cut back on like on the clothing aspect, but then I've also upped I really wanted people to still feel like they belonged, by doing like just prize posts or just or do fundraisers for the hospital or whatnot. Just have people still do fun things for themselves, right? In this weird time.
Right. I love I don't even know if you recognize it, but that deep awareness of when you're not at your best. And what I mean by that is, I think it's true for all of us that when we have too much on our plate, that we are foggy and not executing at our highest creative potential. I think what's like for women who are feeling really stuck, they don't even see that it's their decision to stay busy that is keeping them there, right? Because we get so like, well, I have to do all these things, and then the problems keep mounting and the intensity keeps mounting because we are actually not clear enough to solve the problems effectively, right? We're just constantly, it almost feels like we're just constantly band-aiding everything and just, okay, I don't have time for self-care.
No.
I don't have time because I need self-care, but I don't have time for self-care, or I need to create this new system that will be way more effective, but I don't have time for that. Wow. And again, I love how you've sort of paralleled or connected control and freedom, that in order for you to have more freedom, you needed, it wasn't that you released control, it's that you allowed yourself to not have to be doing all of the things, right? So you're still in control of the person that you employ, and you give them things to do and you oversee and all of that, and you hired the right person, so you don't actually have to do too much, right? Like that's kind of the joy. But that was still you sort of exercising your capacity to control your environment. It's when we get believing that our environment is controlling us. Well, I can't do anything because the pineapple's so busy. Well, that's a terrible problem to have, but it's like I can't do anything because my kids are always doing hockey and this is always happening and this is always happening, right? And in reality, we are in control of our energy and our time and our all the resources. And so making that shift to go, how do I create space so that I can show up the way I want, where I want, when I want? I think that's, for me, definitely something that you've been modeling. And because you talk about the person that is supporting you and how much you miss her, and we all can, like, for those of us looking in going, yeah, you know what, she created that for herself so that she could have that time. And now, and I may not be hiring an employee, but I can look to that and say, I want to do that. I want to create space in my own life so that I can do the things that are way up on my priority list, which ideally is me pushing myself up there, right? Yeah. So just going to check the chat. Yes, absolutely. So Courtney was just saying that you're very honest and very transparent. And again, when you feel like you belong, you don't second guess this, right? Like, just, I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and I trust that it will land in a way that is such a way that you know that I'm saying whatever it is with integrity and honesty and love and kindness, even if it's something super honest and super like cut to the core. But when you are in a space where you know you can show up, you can fall down, you can smash your face, you can get back up again, and people don't look at you as anything less than the awesome person that you are. And that's, again, what you've created. And by doing what you do, you model it for the rest of us. And it gives us permission to show up in our own lives to do the same. So I wanted to thank you for that gift.
Oh, geez. Well, I gotta say though, too, it goes in a cycle, because sometimes something will happen, like for instance the last couple of weeks of adapting and having to change things and take away, for instance, pickups. Like nobody can pick up right now because it's a stupid restriction. But like, and I always go on there and I'm apologizing. I'm over apologetic, I feel like, because I'm told I am. But how supported and like loved, and they're like, dude, it's okay. I made a huge mistake on Monday, a huge mistake. Like I looked at Andre and he looked at me like that was a big mistake. And you know, for those 15 people that I made the biggest mistake to, every email I got back was, dude, chill, it's pandemic. We got bigger things to worry about. And I went to bed and I said, I love my group. Like I just, you know, you get like you worked up and scared and you screwed up so bad. And just the fact that they know I'm human and I'm like just running this on my own, and like I just feel so accepted and loved for who I am, even making mistakes. Like that's, so it's a cycle. It's a cycle. They give it to me too.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's, humans were not put on this planet to be alone, right? We're not here to then learn all the lessons independently in a bubble, in a vacuum by ourselves.
Wow.
We're designed for reciprocity.
Yeah.
And when we are willing to show up as ourselves,
Yeah.
we can trust that the reciprocity, like what we're being given, is honest and authentic. When we know that we are fitting in, when we're hiding ourselves, and, or, you know, in my case, I literally built a cinder block wall around myself, then we lack the trust in our community.
Yep.
So if I know on a level, whether I'm conscious of it or not, that I'm not being me, I'm going to assume they're not being them.
Exactly.
And when we can get so stuck in that space that when someone does see through the wall, we go, and it takes a few more of them going, hey,
yeah.
I get it. I see you. You're great. It's fine. And I think, you know, even just to talk about the apologizing, that's just a habit. That's just a habit you were into from the before. But again, you flip it and go, yeah, and these are my people. This is my community. And right. And so you might continue to say you're sorry, but it's not because you don't trust the relationship. It's just that it's a habit that, you know, blow out of the water.
Yeah.
That's the next event. That's what we'll do at the next one. So I'm a huge, huge advocate of turning our attention to what is working, how things are in alignment. And even at times when we feel like we don't have a lot of control. So I would love for you to share with us one really valuable, important, wonderful thing that you are proud of moving through this particular experience, or any of the challenges that you're going through and have gone through over the past year.
One thing that I'm proud of, I'm so proud of the pineapple in all of its form, but it's when my mom or my dad or Andre, and I know they're proud of me all the time, but when they just drop, or my sisters, right? Just say like, dude, good job, or we're so proud of you. It's just like, oh my God, finally in my life, I've done something that, I almost cracked up there. I've done something that people are proud of me for. And like and going back to when I started, when I told Andre, I said, I'm going to order all the stuff and I don't want to talk to anyone else about it. I don't want to talk to my mom, my dad, my sisters, no one, because I don't want anyone to talk me out of it, because they know how flighty I am and they know how like I'll be like spending all this money and starting this company and then just like, so I needed to do that for myself first. And I think that, yeah, it's this is going to come out.
Okay, go ahead.
But it's, you know, again, it goes back to being a hockey wife. You play second fiddle. You're not in the spotlight. And for once, like, I feel like I kind of just created my own spotlight. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's the thing I'm most proud of.
That is brilliant.
Okay.
We all deserve
Yes.
to feel like we've created our own spotlight. I think that is a very powerful statement. And it's not because it was made by somebody else or for somebody else. It was done by you, for you. And I can envision and I can see that commitment to yourself in those early stages of like, this is for me, and I don't need anybody else's input. I don't need, yes, thank you, Andre, for supporting me. And that's great, because, you know, we're in this together.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do this in my own way. And I think what I can see is that in that time when it was kind of not your own way, right? Like when you sort of lost that spark, it, not because anybody else was doing anything, but, you know, we get impressed upon what you should do, right? Well, your business should be doing this, and I should be over here with the kids, and my business should be making money, and my kids should be happy, blah, 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 should. And then again, creating that, no, I deserve this, and I'm going to make this, and this is mine. And then as a result, you then radiate that beautiful energy out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Awesome.
But I'm still like, I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess still. Like, even though the pineapples brought me all this stuff, like I struggle with figuring things out still. It's brought me to a better place, but I feel like we're always, I don't know.
So the hot mess to awesomeness is not a straight line. Okay, it's not. It is a very wobbly pendulum. And
I feel like I'm an awesome hot mess. There you go.
Yes. And it's funny, as I was, you know, hot mess to awesomeness. That sounds cool. Great name.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want anybody to misunderstand that I think that it's a one-way ticket, because honey, it is so not, right? It's about being able to be in the hot mess moment going, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll just, you know, I know that there's a light. I know that I have like capacity, I have skills, and whether or not, you know, especially now we're all faced with all this uncertainty and change. But those of us who have gone through the hot mess moments going, well, you know, I can just treat this no different than any other hot mess moment, and figure it out. Take the time, go inside, reflect, get creative, and find that space, right? And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to do it for yourself. It's a phenomenal thing to be a part of a community that is at the core.
Yeah.
And that is what for me, the pineapple is. And there's a couple of other communities, you know, the ones that I work to create, the other ones that I'm involved in. That's kind of, for me, if that doesn't exist, I don't go in, right? That's so it's awesome. So we are always proud of you, and I'm amazed at how much coming. So I'm noticing all of the comments are coming into me privately. I'm wondering if I screwed up a setting. So I'll make sure you get them all, Kelly. And when we go to the sort of open discussion, anybody who's made a comment, by all means, share it loud and proud with Miss Kelly. So I am inspired by you. I am happy to be your friend, and I'm glad that you're part of my community, literally down the road, because I live on Yonge Street, so you're like literally down the road for me. And I know that how you share of yourself is very selfless, and it's a fine thing. And in this moment, though, I want you to take a little bit of ownership of the journey that you've taken, and share with us what you would say to a woman who is right on that cusp of following the spark or dimming the light.
Okay. So there is a quote that I'm in love with, because you can take it any way you want. But what I would say is, if it was you, it's none of your business what anyone else thinks of you. So you just go with, like, don't just go with your gut, right? Like we have intuition for a reason. If it's something you feel wholeheartedly and you've got negative kind of banter around you, who cares? Just be true to yourself and do it, because if you don't quit, you can't quit. You know what I mean?
I do.
Like I would just, yeah. There comes a point when you do dim or find the fire, but you know what is going to, intuitively what is going to keep that fire going, regardless of any outer, like I said, banter. Just find that and just stick with it and don't waver.
Yeah. I think you nailed it. And trust it, right? And I think so when we are in the habit of looking externally for validation, for acceptance, for fitting in, we lose that trusting relationship with ourselves. Yes. So for anyone who is like, this can't be it. This can't be what I'm signed up for here.
No.
And building that trusting relationship with yourself allows for your intuitive moments. So that moment with Kimberly, who is an intuitive genius, you were ready and you had done that work and built that relationship. So when it happened, split second moment, you're like,
it was insane. Right? Yeah. Like I can't even explain it. I can't even, it was crazy. But yeah, no, that's exactly it.
Awesome. Kelly, thank you. I will absolutely be sharing the pineapple with the community on the replay. If there's anybody who is interested in joining this amazing space of women and getting their hands on some really cute, awesome, affordable, beautiful pieces. So I will do that. But is there anything new happening? Anything you want to share?
So no, because no. Well, okay. in the last like 2 months, my group has just boomed, and I'm just trying to get new people, like understanding what it is and just like accommodating the growth of the group. So I really want to focus on the growth right now, like of the group. One thing that has come about this isolation thing is I've had a couple phone calls from like small business owners, and I feel like I have something to share with like getting up and running online or just being authentic or whatever. So that's been really cool, but nothing I want to get in. I can't even imagine that in my head, but it was a really good feeling that I could share what I've learned with other people. So I don't know, 20 years from now maybe, but like I love where I am right now and I don't want to add to my plate right now.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for your time. And I look forward to all of the fun and exciting things that you have.
Awesome.
Yay.
Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Join Dion again next week to learn more about what you can do to go from hot mess to awesomeness.